everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today is going to be a get ready with me using all old stuff. I tried to pull out products that I very rarely use, if ever, on my channel. I feel like there's going to be a lot of new releases, there's going to be some preview videos coming up, and I also want to mix in some products that I've been using for a very long time that I don't feel like get enough love. And I think these are really good products. I just, with all the new releases all the time, you know, we don't talk about these things. So that's what we're going to do today. First, let me pull my hair back. I'll bring you in just a little bit closer. Part of the issue is, you know, being on YouTube and social media, Instagram, whatever, is the videos and the images that get views are the ones that are new releases. So, you know, many of us, when we try to do things like what I'm gonna do today, which is, you know, not using anything new, it doesn't get a lot of views. You don't get a lot of views, you don't stay on YouTube, you get the idea. So, but I was like, you know what? I'm pulling this stuff out anyway. Okay, so let's start with a foundation. Foundation that I'm going to use today is the Lemare, the Soft Fluid Foundation. This is the Longwear Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 20. I've been wearing this foundation for a very long time. It is expensive, but I really like it. I like the Lemare products in general, but this foundation was kind of my like first, I don't want to say first, it was like one of the first really expensive foundations that I felt like, you know, really worked for me, and I was like, oh yeah, it's worth it. You know, when I was younger, I've been very lucky. I haven't really had a lot of skin problems when it comes to like acne or, you know, like I never had any of that. What I do have is very dry skin, and I also have rosacea. So, but that didn't flare up until I was in my 30s. So in my 20s, I had really, I mean, I had pretty good skin. I can't in any way complain. So I didn't really wear a lot of foundation, and when I did, you know, I just picked up kind of whatever. It wasn't an area that I spent a lot of time or effort on. I'm trying to remember like what I used. When I worked for Chanel, I wore Chanel. I actually wore their powder foundation. It was in the compacts. And that actually worked for me. It was a little drying, but it wasn't too bad. Again, my skin wasn't as dry because I was younger. What else did I use? I think I used like Estee Lauder. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even remember. Like, it just, I didn't have skin issues. I didn't have skin issues yet. My skin was dry, but I was younger, so it was still, you know, not too bad. And I really didn't start worrying about, you know, the rosacea and the broken capillaries and stuff until I hit my 30s. And that's when I was just like, oh, I need to invest in good foundation. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I didn't take care of my skin in my 20s. I did take care of my skin in my 20s. I moisturized, I never went to bed with makeup on my face, you know, I did all those things. Stayed out of the sun. But, you know, in your 20s, you need to take care of your skin, you need to do preventative things, but let's face it, most people don't have wrinkles and, you know, severe rosacea, I mean, like in their 20s. Usually it comes on later. So yeah, I didn't spend nearly as much money on foundation back then. And this Lemare foundation, I'm trying to remember how long I've been using it, but it's been quite some time, and I really like it. I think it's a really good foundation. It does have a slight scent to it that's always kind of bugged me that I don't like, but it dissipates relatively quickly. So it's not fluor or anything. It's like a, it's not like their cream that smells like seaweed. It's not that. It's just like a, I don't know, it's like a slightly metallic almost smell. I can't put my finger on it, but that's the only thing I don't like about it. And the price is not great, but I think it really gives a beautiful finish. It works really well for my skin. Again, dry, 49, you know, rosacea, all those good things. So next we're gonna use a really old, really old, it sounds terrible, an oldie but a goodie. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is the original one. This is one of the products actually that I think made Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte Tilbury. This one is well loved. I've actually gone through like 2 of these. This is probably like my 3rd. And this was the original. There, I think there's a deeper shade now, but this is the original one. I'm looking for my, talk about tried and true old things, Tom Ford natural hairbrush, which doesn't exist anymore. So I'm gonna go in with the bronzer for this. I'm not gonna use the highlighter, and I'll explain why in a minute. And this is what I used, you know, forever. I don't know how many years ago this came out, but when it came out, I had bought it in Chicago, I think, and they didn't even have it in the stores anywhere near me. And I was in Washington, D.C. at the time, right outside of D.C., and they didn't carry it in the Washington, D.C. stores. And they, you know, it was like a big deal. Like Charlotte Tilbury was just kind of like, you know, people had heard of it, and it was like, oh, you know, you have a Charlotte Tilbury? Like that kind of thing. Like it wasn't everywhere like it is now. And so I had bought it there and, you know, absolutely loved it and traveled with it everywhere. And like convinced all my friends that they had to try it. You know, Mel and Dina, if you ever watch this, you'll remember me saying, you gotta try Charlotte Tilbury. And they, of course, had never heard of her. And, you know, it was like a big deal. But this shade in the original Bronze and Glow is a great shade for me. Like, it just works really well. It's not too deep, it's not too brown, it's not too yellow. It's just really good. And the formula was great. And for people who, like me, you know, had older skin, and at the time, I mean, I wasn't as old, obviously, as I am now, but it was just, it's a great neutral bronze. And honestly, it's still a great neutral bronzer. I still love this palette and probably will travel with it when I get back to traveling. It's a really good palette. Like, I really like it, and I really like the shades. And the highlighter in here is beautiful as well, but I'm gonna use a highlighter that is old, like ancient old. And I don't even know if it exists anymore. It probably doesn't. I'm trying to, you know, I'll have to look it up, but I bet you it doesn't. So this is the Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Contour Duo. His contour shade still exists, I'm pretty sure, because I feel like I replaced my light one not that long ago. But anyway, in here is a medium contour shade and a highlighting shade, and I always forget the name of it, Candlelight. Candlelight. This is like one of my favorite highlighters of all time. It's an awesome, awesome highlighter. If it still exists, and I'll check it, but if it does, it's really pretty. It's really nice. It's this gorgeous, like, candlelight. You can, I mean, I don't know if you'll really be able to pick it up in the lights, but it's really pretty. And the contour shade is really good too. The medium is a little deep for me, not a lot, but a little. So I have it in light, like in a separate little container. So I'm gonna use the medium here and just do a little contour. I'm going in very lightly because, like I said, on me, it's actually a little too deep. But yeah, I mean, when Kevyn Aucoin first came out, I was a huge Kevyn Aucoin fan, the artist. And of course, you know, he unfortunately passed away. But when his line came out, I wanted everything from his line because, you know, I loved Kevyn Aucoin. I actually do like some of the Kevyn Aucoin products, but my favorites are the contouring and this highlighter. That's just my favorite. I don't know why. But anyway, so let me show you the Candlelight. It's just a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. And you'll ask me, like, how old is this? It's old. But I've kept it carefully. It doesn't smell. It doesn't do anything weird to my skin, like, you know, so I think I'm fine. I don't break out Not that I ever break out anyway, but and I am not in any way condoning keeping things forever. I'm not saying that, but I've kept this one for a long time, and I love the glow it gives me. I just think it's beautiful, and the contour is great. So if it still exists, I'll link it, but I don't think it does. But anyway, it's an old favorite. And like I said, today was about bringing out old things that I don't use. And I don't know how many views it's gonna get, but I don't care, because I feel like, you know, we have so much stuff, and there's so many great products, and the releases are just coming fast and furious. And my will I buy it has already gone up, or it should have. And to be honest, like the Louboutin and the Valentino, and they look very pretty. In fact, the Christian Louboutin, the products look like they're actually decent. I still hate the packaging, but that being said, the products look good. But I still feel like I don't need any more makeup. You know, with Chanel dropping at the end of the month, and I have a lot of the Chanel products from that line as well. The new Tom Ford blush is coming. I feel like, I think maybe like we all feel like, right? A little overwhelmed. So I feel like it's good to go back and just use stuff you have every once in a while. Okay, so let's take the next product, which is Laura Mercier blush. Laura Mercier blush, I don't care what anyone says, it's a great blush. I love the Laura Mercier blushes. I only have one because I had to throw out older blushes because these did go bad. Now, I don't know if it's a situation like Tom Ford, where I had a lot of Tom Ford lipsticks. I mean, a lot, like 3 dozen that I had to throw away because they all went bad. But then he changed the formula, and that didn't happen like that anymore. So I don't know. I don't know if that was the situation, or they were just really old and I had them a really long time. But this is in Fresco. This still exists. Or at least I think it does. The last time I looked, it still existed. And Fresco is a beautiful shade. It's got a nice shimmer to it. Laura Mercier has beautiful blushes. My blush battle will be coming up soon. I know it's taking me a while, but I really want to be like thorough. I don't want to just rush it. And as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I just do this very, very part-time. My full-time day job is like an 80-hour-a-week day job. So, you know, I don't have as much time to do it. So I want to but I want to make sure I dedicate time to it because I think it's important. All right, so let's take the Fresco. They're beautiful blushes. They go on really well. And Fresco is a beautiful shade. It's not, I'm not going to say that it's going to work for everyone, because I just think that's, you know, nothing works for everyone. But I think it works for a lot of skin tones, because although if you saw it on me, like it's not, you know, it's not super deep or anything, the shade is such that you can build it. And it's a very neutral kind of shade. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a pinky brown shade. So it works on a lot of different types of skin tones and undertones. So I think it's one of those shades that works for a lot of people. And I think it's a really, really pretty color. It's actually one of my favorite shades. Formula, I don't know if it's my favorite. You'll have to watch the blush battle for that, but it is a really good, really, really good formula. Okay, we've got the face done, so let's do the eyes. So I was like, all right, what do I want to pull out? Because I feel like there's so many products that I use on my eyes, because that's where I spend a lot of my time. That's where we spend a lot. I mean, everyone does, especially lately because of the masks. We've been doing a lot with eye stuff. And I've done a lot with Chantecaille and Dior and Chanel and Tom Ford. And I love all those products. I mean, I'm not Suku. And I do a lot with Natasha, Denona, and Pat McGrath. But I don't pull out their older stuff. So what I thought I would pull out today is something that I don't even know if I've used it on the channel. This is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. And this is a very neutral palette. But it's a great palette. It's a really good palette. It has great shades. It's pretty neutral, pretty basic. But if I were to be honest, that's a lot of what I wear on a daily basis. Neutrals work well for me. Yeah. So, and I think they work well for a lot of people because, you know, some people are not afraid of color, but they're not like as comfortable with color. Some people just have jobs where it's not really as acceptable. And some people are just looking for an easier look and they feel like if they're using neutrals, it's easier. I don't necessarily think it's easier. I think you can do like one bright color and you're done. Sometimes that's easier. But I totally get it. I have a lot of friends who are not into makeup. They have no interest in makeup whatsoever. And they want to look good. They want to look nice. I think we all do. And so something like this is, you know, a perfect palette. So there's nothing wrong with that. So I figured, you know what? I'd pull it out and use it because I don't think I ever have, which is odd because because I have it. I just don't use it. All right, so let's take, I'm gonna take Freckle. I'll show you a Freckle. Yeah, we'll use Freckle first. That's Freckle. Use that as a transition shade. I'm using the Hourglass number 6 brush. This is a vegan brush. Or we're just gonna use this as a transition shade. And as I do this, I want to mention that if you are, this is a shameless plug, if you are enjoying my content and if you would like to continue seeing my content, what would be really great to help support the channel, if you're already subscribed and you're already watching, thank you very much, that's awesome, and I appreciate it. But there's also another way that would be incredibly great if you're interested in doing it. On my Instagram handle, there is a link. It says Linktree. And if you go there, there's a button you can press to follow me on LTK. And LTK is an app that allows anyone to shop the looks that I create. So as we get into the fall months, I'm gonna start buying clothes and jewelry and stuff, which I hadn't really been doing over the last year because I wasn't really going anywhere. And of course makeup looks. And I will post pictures, and I have been doing so, but not as much. And so I will be doing more of them. And you can shop directly from the app. So you can see the picture of the jacket I'm wearing or the jewelry I'm wearing, and you can literally press on it and it will link to that jacket, to that necklace, to that makeup. And what would be great is if you could follow me on the LTK app. It's the like it to know it, I think is the full name. And if you have any questions, let me know. But it really would help support my channel. It allows me to do affiliate links, and affiliate links allow me to help support the financing of the channel, because the channel's expensive and I don't get products in PR and stuff. I pay for them all myself, which is great, but affiliate links do help support the channel continuing. And so the Like It to Know It app allows me to have those affiliate links. And I'm actually running a contest, not a contest, I'm actually running a giveaway to everyone who is following me on the app. And you'll see that on my Instagram feed. And that's my little plug for today. Shameless plug. Okay, so that's the shade. That's Freckle. And it's just a really pretty, it's a warm brown. It's just a really pretty shade. I think it gives like a nice base, like a nice warmth to the skin. I think it's just really pretty. And I think, again, this whole palette, this palette's definitely warm leaning. The Glam is a little bit cooler. The Love palette has definitely cooler shades in it. This one's a little more warm leaning, but I do really like every shade in this palette. I mean, I just think they're beautiful. Okay, yeah, Natasha Denona has beautiful shades. I'm gonna take Tusk. I'll show you Tusk on my hand. I'm gonna put this on my lid. You know, beautiful formulas, beautiful shades. This is Tusk. It's kind of hard to see because it's kind of the color of my skin a little bit, but I haven't been as, like, her latest one, the Big Zendo. I didn't love that one. The formulas were still good. It's not that. It's just I have such high expectations for her now that I was just kind of like, it's okay. I didn't get the Coco Loco one, and I didn't get the one before that either. The Triochrome, I think it was Triochrome. So I hadn't picked up her last two before the Zendo, which is why I actually ended up getting the Zendo, because I felt like, I had missed out on a couple palettes. But what I would say is her palettes in general, like one of the reasons that I have a lot of her stuff is like her 28 pan palettes, the green, brown, and the purple blue. They're so beautiful. Or the Biba palette, or the Love palette. I mean, she's done so many great palettes that even if one like a Zendo comes along that I don't absolutely love, so what? That's fine. I mean, she's got plenty that are phenomenal. Let's go into Seed. Let me show you Seed. Seed is a dark brown shade, and I'm just gonna take a very little amount of it. That's Seed. I'm gonna use the same Hourglass brush, but I'm just gonna do it on this outer corner here. And literally just like rub that in just on the outer corner. Like that. Do the same thing on the other side. It's finally a normal temperature here in New England. We had 4 days of like almost 100 degrees, and I know probably many of you who are watching are like, yeah, that's not that hot. I mean, I lived in DC / Virginia. I know, like, it's not that warm, but for here, that's just insane. And our air conditioners, we don't have like the compressor sizes that, we have a pretty big house, and so we just don't have, like, we have it so that it'll work and it'll be fine. You wouldn't notice if it's in constant 80s, maybe even hit 90. But when it's close to 100 for 4 days, the air conditioning units just can't take it, and it was hot inside our house. Then I'm gonna take Monroe and put it on the eye. Let me show you Monroe. So yeah, I was unhappy for the last couple days. That's Monroe right there. I'm just gonna put that on the eyelid. Yeah, I don't do well in heat. I think I've mentioned this to folks, but like, I pass out, like heat stroke. I can't function. My brain is just like, nope, that's it. And my husband, before he was my husband, he took me to Arizona in August. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't really do well in heat. And I'm sure he was just like, oh, okay. Like most people are like, oh, okay, you don't do well in heat. And I literally passed out in a car. I don't really remember this because I passed out, but like he was talking to me, and the next thing he knew, he looked over and I was passed out. So yeah, I don't do well in heat, like, at all. It's very bad. I know. There's nothing I could do about it. I mean, it's just, All right, so let me buff this in a little bit. If you watched my, if you saw my post on Instagram last week, the pictures of when I was in Maine, we were actually there during the cold spell. We had like a huge cold spell where it was literally in the 40s, and then like the next week it was in the 90s. And I was on the beach in a sweatshirt, and I was thrilled. It was cold. I didn't care. I was so happy. But I like like 50 degree weather, 60 degree weather. Above that, not so much. Okay, so we have our final eye look. I'm gonna put some liner on, but I gotta pick a liner that I haven't used in a long time. But I wanted you to see, look how pretty this look is. I mean, I don't pull out this palette enough. It's a beautiful palette. It looks beautiful on the eye. The shades are great. The pigment is great. And I don't use it that often because, like we were saying, there's always a new thing and you just, you know, don't have time. All right, let's use a Charlotte Tilbury, because I was talking about how much I liked Charlotte Tilbury back in the day. It's not like I don't like Charlotte Tilbury now. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that, you know, at the time, she was like nobody knew about Charlotte Tilbury. And it was just kind of like, you know, it was like a big deal to use her products. And she didn't have a lot of things that came out all at once. It was just more like, you know, every once in a while. Anyway, all right. I don't even know what shade this is. What shade is this? The classic eyeshadow pencil. Yeah. In no shade. Okay, that's not right. Well, this is bizarre. I actually don't see the name of the shade on the pencil. Wow, this one must be really old. All right, well, I'll find out the name and put it in the... I wonder if it wore off. It's entirely possible. All right. I know it's like a brown shade because I can tell by the cap at the bottom, but I can't find the name on it. Again, it might have worn off. It's entirely possible. When you have things for a while and you use them, that's what happens. There we go. Her pencils are great too. Just a lot of good products. Again, just don't use them that often. Okay, so let me curl my lashes and then we'll get to mascara. Okay, so back in the day, the only mascara I used was the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. Literally, it was the only one I used. And I tried lots of mascaras that were on the market that were supposed to be like the greatest mascaras. At the time, it was like Lancome, I think was like the big one. And I hated it. Just hated it. Yeah, I never found a mascara I liked more than this. Until, I'd say about two years ago? Something like that. And that was the Chantecaille mascara, the longest lash mascara. I'm not gonna say it gives you the same look as this, but it's a better mascara. Like, it has better quality ingredients. It makes my lashes look better. It's a better mascara. And then since then, I have found other mascaras that I actually do like as much or more than this. The Christian Dior, the At Lash from Marc Jacobs. If he really is going out of business, I might pick up a couple of At Lashed because I really like that mascara. I mean, I think, you know, mascaras if you don't open them and you keep them in the box, they'll last a while. Once you open them, you got 6 months. But, you know, maybe I could buy a few and at least have them for a little while because I really do like that mascara. The Jones Road is a really good mascara. Huge wand, but good mascara. And then, of course, the one that I've been using practically nonstop lately is the Bite Beauty, the Upswing mascara. It's really good. I love it for my upper lashes. I wouldn't say I love it for my lower lashes. My lashes are relatively long, although I feel like I'm losing volume on them as I get older. Yeah, that's life. But, you know, I still think that they're too long for the Bite Beauty because they hit my skin when I use that wand, because the wand is enormous. But for my upper lashes, it works incredibly well because it coats them all like immediately and it takes me like no time. And, you know, I get a great voluminous look, which is exactly what I want. You don't have to spend a lot of time with that mascara. It just gets them all like immediately, which I just think is great. But it's not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, like I said, it's a huge wand. So if you don't like that, if you're not looking for a huge fluffy wand, then it won't be for you. I mean, mascara, like everything, you know, it's a personal preference. It also depends on your lashes. If you have like very thin, very short lashes, that might not work well for you because the wand is so huge. I think it won't, you know, it won't pick up the the smaller lashes, it can't get to them. Whereas, you know, a thinner lash, a thinner brush can. One by MAC that I use all the time, and I've forgotten the name of, that I use on my lower lashes when I use the Bite Beauty, has like a really small wand. The Kevyn Aucoin one also has like a very small wand. You can get at like every lash with that. So let me bring you in so you can see the eye look, and you can see this is a great mascara. It gets like all the lashes, it makes them long, it's a beautiful look. And I think this mascara is like $10. I mean, that's pretty good for $10, I think. So yeah, it's a great mascara. Like I said, this was all I used back in the day. This was it. Just that mascara. Didn't use anything else. I still love it. I still love that mascara. It's just that I have found ones that I like more, but I think it's still really, really good. And you can still buy it. So I'll make sure it's linked below. I mean, that's the point of this video. Just because something isn't new doesn't mean it's not awesome. Doesn't mean it's not still like a great product. It just means it's not new, that's all. All right, next is lips. And I'm gonna use the Giorgio Armani lip liner. This is in shade 2, I believe. I think it's shade 2. Yep, shade 2. Pencil's really tiny now. I need to buy a new one soon. But I actually love the Giorgio Armani liners, lip liners. And this shade, I don't have anything else exactly like this shade. I would also say that the Giorgio Armani blushes that are coming out, they're cream blushes. It's not like they're anything like revolutionary, but I have been thinking about getting them because I do like Armani products and I actually don't use them that often. Like the lip products that they have, I like those. I like the foundation. I feel like I always like the products they come out with, but I just never, I don't tout them on the channel. So I might be picking up those blushes. All right, so let me put this on. There's the shade. I would say two things about the lip liners. They're not as soft as the Chanel liners or the Sisley liners, so they're not my favorite because those are my favorites. But they are really good liners. And they don't bleed, they stay on all day, and this shade is obviously, I mean, you can tell it's a favorite shade because I reach for it all the time. I'm not sure what about it is different. I don't know, it has a little bit of warmth to it. I just end up really liking it and reaching for it a lot. At least I used to, like all the time. And lately on the channel, I realized when I was putting this together in my mind about what products I was gonna use, I'm like, I don't ever use that. And I love this shade. So it's a really good product. And I actually want to pick up a couple of other shades, but I'm trying to be really good in the month of June. So probably not till July. Okay, last product I'm gonna use today is lip gloss. This is the Chanel lip gloss in 804. I've talked about it a bunch of times. This is like one of the things that I've said I would put in my starter kit. This is a great gloss. But it has been around for a while and it's not like, you know, it's new by any means, but I wore this a lot, a lot. And I still wear it, but I haven't worn it lately because I haven't worn anything on my lips lately, except for lip balm. But this is a great gloss and I've talked about it before and I, will continue to, but I don't think I've ever worn it. I was looking back and I was like, have I ever worn it on the channel? And if I did, it was a while ago. So today I'm gonna put it on. Uh-oh, I need more of it. I'm running low on it because I guess I used it all up back in the day. All right, so the thing about this lip gloss, like I said, on my hand, you can see, it's just like a clear pinky lip gloss. In the packaging, it looks like Barbie pink and it's scary as hell, at least it is to me. But on the lips, all it does is make your lips look plump and frankly larger than they are, in my opinion. If you put it on with like no liner, that's exactly what you get. It's just kind of like your lips look bigger and plumper. If you put it on with a liner, it's pretty much gonna take the shade of whatever liner you use for the most part. It will gear towards pink because it's a pinky shade. But as you can see on me, it's not it's not super pink. It's just, you know, it's just like a nice, it's like it's just a good lip shade. I don't know how to explain it, but it really works on practically, again, I hate the anyone thing, but it does work on practically anyone because it's just like a shiny gloss that has a little bit of pink to it. So, now, again, it's not gonna have a lot of color. It has no staying power at all. It'll come right off because it's a gloss. But it's not sticky. The Chanel glosses are great. These used to be called Glossomers back in my day. Now they're the Cocoa Gloss, but they're a great formula. I love the Chanel formula. I think it's really, really good. So that's it for today, guys. This is me pulling out all the oldies but goodies. You know, products that I just don't use generally on my channel, but are favorites of mine. And that back in the day I used, and I say back in the day, you know, it wasn't 10 years ago, but it was 5 years ago, or it was, or more in some cases with some of the things. But, you know, these are things that are not new releases. Most of them are still around. Some are discontinued, but they're just good products and they work well. They should work for a lot of people. I understand it's not gonna work for everyone, but these are products that became, in some cases, you know, holy grail products for people, like the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow, or the Lemare Foundation, or the Laura Mercier blushes. They have a popularity to them for a reason. They're not gonna work for everyone, like I said. There might be things about them that you hate, but overall, these are products that I carried around in my travel bag and went to time and time and time again. Frankly, up until I started the channel and got inundated by new releases all the time. So I just feel like I want to bring more of those out to you all. Hopefully this was interesting to all you guys. Hopefully, you know, you enjoyed it, and I'll do more of them if there's interest in me doing so. Yeah, I'm looking at my face in the mirror and I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember why I really like that. Like the Candlelight, if this exists, go get it. Seriously, go get it. It's so pretty. But I don't think it exists. I'm not really sure about that. The contour shades do, but I'm not sure about the Candlelight. I'm not positive. But I know Laura Mercier blushes do. Lemur Foundation does. The lip gloss, absolutely. Voluminous mascara, absolutely still exists. The Charlotte Tilbury does. The Biba palette's still out there. So, I mean, I tried to pick things that were like old, but you could still buy. The Kevyn Aucoin is the only one where I'm just like, I don't know. It's just not something I've checked recently. So I will put down below if it is available anywhere. I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.